Call a regular monthly meeting of the Rockwood City Council to order. At this time, I'd ask that you stand for the prayer by Mr. Ishman and remain standing and pledge to the flag. Mr. Ishman.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this time we can be together here this evening and discuss the business of the city. We thank you for the opportunity we have to live in this country where we have the freedom to do this, the freedom to be, the freedom to look at the things that need to be changed in our city and the things that are doing well. We ask you, Lord, to watch over us this evening and be with the council members as they make their decisions. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call roll.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bryan.
Here.
Councilwoman Evans. Here. Councilman Fuller.
Here.
Councilman Holloway.
Here.
Councilwoman Wilson. Here. Mayor Miller.
Here, all present. We do have a quorum. You received the minutes from the July 26, 2021 meeting. Is there any additions or corrections? I hear none. Do I hear a motion to be approved?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Anderson. Councilman Holloway, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Councilman Anderson?
Nothing.
Anyone? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the ayes have it. Next item is presentation and approval of financials, July 21st, July 2021 financial reports and bank info. Do I hear a motion to be approved so we can get it on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Council Lady Wilson. Councilman Fuller.
I'll just turn it over to Ms. Rookie.
Yield Ms. Rookie.
You all have a copy of all the bank statements in your packet, and a summary of those bank statements is in the general fund. As of July 31st, we had a balance of $787,310.24. Reserve and emergency, $147,476.93. Our TDA foundation funds is closed. Payroll, $872.85. In the larger drug fund, we had $63,960.21. State street aid, $181,165.26. The small drug fund, $807.54. Special revenue account is closed. Capital projects has a whole nickel in it, and that's for a total of $1,181,593.08. You also have a copy of the checks that were written in July, and I'm going to save my comments on the revenues, the updated revenues. I gave you June 30th revenues back at the July meeting, but we keep getting money in for a couple months after, and I'll save my comments and turn that over to Mayor Miller to explain if he'd like to do that.
Anything further, Councilman Fuller?
No, sir.
Council Lady Wilson?
No, sir.
Anyone? I would like to go over some things on revenue that are really good news for us. RAU and lieu of tax, we budgeted $840,000. We got $857,000. Local sales tax, we budgeted $1.6 million. We brought in almost $1.8 million. And we had some other things for state sales tax. We budgeted $400,000. We brought in $592,000. But total, the revenues that are still coming in, we brought in revenue-wise $308,000, almost $309,000 more than we budgeted. So it's been a good year revenue-wise for the City of Rockwood, and I just want to make y'all aware of that. Anything, Ms. Ruth, you'd like to add to that?
I asked something else, Mayor.
Councilman Holloway.
Victor, how much was our savings on the LED program last year?
I don't have that total with me, but I can send it out to you. But I think we reserved $34,000 to pay on this year's debt. But what it was, or $38,000. It was about $38,000. We increased it a little bit at the end because we had more left than we thought. And that $38,000 will go toward our debt in this year.
Anything further? Anyone else? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans, Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is public comments. We always like to open the floor to anyone that would like to address the mayor and council. This will be the last time you'll be able to do this unless a council member yields the floor to you. All we ask is that you stand and state your name and address. I'm gonna start out, before I turn it over, I'm gonna start out with the Girl Scouts. I think there's someone here from the Girl Scouts that would like to speak. Please stand up.
My name's Kelly Scubas. I live on Turkey Ridge Road in Rockwood. I'm the troop administrator and a girl program mentor for Troop 20733 in Rockwood. Thank Ms. Ruby for inviting us here to speak tonight. The girls are going to be telling you about a project they've been working on. This is really exciting for them too, at least I hope, because we did a lot of badge work last year about local, state, and federal governments and how important it is to know what goes on in your local government. So I'm glad that we're here tonight to share what we've been working on, but also get a little taste of how that works in Rockwood. So I'm gonna let the girls take it from here.
Thank you for inviting us to speak at this meeting. My name is Madison. The four of us are the cadets from Rockwood Girl Scout Troop 20733. Our troop was started in 2016 and we currently have 10 girls in the troop from 1st grade through 9th grade. As a cadet, you can earn a Girl Scout Silver Award, which involves identifying a cause or issue in your community and changing it for the better in a lasting way. For our Silver Award, we chose to improve the accessibility of the Rockwood Forest Trails and to increase awareness of it in our community. We got this idea after a Girl Scout hiking event.
I'm Rebecca. The Rockwood Forest Trails are a beautiful feature of our town and many people aren't even aware that it exists. The trails were opened in 2017. It consists of 2.2 mile loop trail with connecting trails throughout a 206-foot loop trail. Throughout a 206-foot elevation gain. The trails are dog-friendly, kid-friendly, and great for mountain biking. During our Girl Scout hike, we had ages of hikers from kindergarten to adult. The entrance to the trails is located next to the soccer field in the back of Mike Brillo Miller Sports Complex at the end of Chamberlain Avenue in Rockwood.
I'm April. As a troop, we hiked the trails as a part of Girl Scout event Reach the Peaks in March 2021. We loved the hike, but were surprised to not see any other hikers, and the trail markers were faded and they weren't enough to make the path easy to follow. So we decided to take care of both of those issues with our Silver Award project. We have been working to remark and fill the trails for a few months. Now that we are almost done with that, we are trying to get the word out about the trails so more people in the area can enjoy them and maybe provide some less points around the trails so people could sit and take in the beauty and the wildlife. We recently held a car wash to raise money to purchase a picnic table for the trails, but there were a few other things we think would be good for the trails too.
I'm Ireland. Some improvements we would like to see are a sign at the entrance of the sports complex so people know the Rockwood Forest Trail is also inside. A trash can at the entrance of the trails so people don't leave trash on the trail. Security cameras to prevent thieves at the bulletin board. Better signs for the trail entrance and at certain points in the trail, and more regular trail cleaning and clearing. Thank you for your time and allowing us to speak today. Please take these flyers we have made and help us spread the word about Rockwood Forest Trail.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it
Thank
to
you. I want to thank you all for putting time and effort in there. I've walked those trails, and I really like the idea she's got about a place for me to sit down and rest. I really like that. But that is, if you haven't been there, you should go. It's really neat, and they've done a good job, and we appreciate the time and effort, and I think that's a great idea about a sign at the entrance, so we'll look into that. But again, thank you for everything you've done.
And in the near future, there will be a picnic table somewhere out through there, not too far into the trails.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, don't make it too far in.
No, girl, I know you. We can't make it
You
too
can put it by the gate if you want to. Okay, the next, Cassandra, come on up. Cassandra is our swim team coach, representative. She does it all. So we appreciate her. I'm gonna let you introduce all your people.
Okay,
Looks like there may be 3 or 4 here.
well, we had a total of 56 kids this year. It's the most we've ever had total. We started with closer to 62. We had some injuries, some custody stuff, and lost a few here and there, but we have grown. This was our 10th year swimming, and I actually have 2 swimmers that have put up with me for all 10 years. So Devin and Logan, good job.
Devin and Logan, tell me about 10 years with her.
It's been a long 10 years. That's for sure.
I believe that is your son, right? Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure we got that out.
So I have almost half of them here. Some are multi-sport athletes, so they had some other stuff going on today. But I have Alina Bell.
Please stand, or come to the front. Yeah, come to the front.
I've got Dylan Bell, Reagan Bell, Eli Bray, Skyla Carr, Colin Chandler, Logan Clark, Charlie Davis, Braden Dothard, Devin Dothard, Jake Edwards, Bella Griffiths, Campbell Henley, Anna Isham, Tristan Isham, Olivia Isham, Hannah Peters, Boone Reaver, Mary Schrade, Sawyer Strader, Cynthia Tilley, Abby Worth, Azia Wright, Neela Wright. I get everybody? I got everybody? So we had a ton of swimmers this year. They did a great job. We did not win a meet, but we need to point out that we are in League 4. So we were swimming against Maryville, Ocala. All of the teams that we were swimming against are year-round teams. And we came within 11 points, which is 2 races, of beating Maryville, Ocala. So we had some really close meets, even though we're swimming against year-round teams. So I'm very proud of all of them. And then we had Alina, Balin, Skyla, Olivia, Campbell, Braden, Eli, Cordon's not here, and Tristan. They all made it to finals at UT. That means they placed in the top 16 of all of East Tennessee. And actually Campbell was our only individual swimmer, and she was 8th out of, I forgot to look it up, but it was like 400 swimmers, and she was 8th. And then our 2 relays, we had a 15th and a 16th out of hundreds of kids. So they did a phenomenal job this year. Every year, because they put up with me, but especially this year.
Thank you so much. Before y'all leave, y'all stay right there standing up. I want those Girl Scouts to stand up too, please. This is our future right here. They're going to lead us down a great path And we're proud of every one of you all. I want you to know that, every one of you. So thank you so much. And the other thing is, if you don't want to listen to this other stuff, now's the time to hit the door. You're more than welcome to stay. But if you don't want to, now's the time. Thank y'all.
Got cheerleading.
Oh, yeah. Anyone else like to address the mayor and council? Former Councilman Evans.
Just a quick note, Brillo, that I noticed, and I do believe we got a coding issue or something about this. When I came up Kingston Avenue, a lot of those guys who mow all those yards with those big old high-speed tractors or mowers are blowing the grass in the road, and it gets right back into the gutters. As you know, we had this discussion years ago. I even stopped one time when I was a councilman and just said, hey, you don't care, we got a code, I think, that says you got to keep this blowed into the grass. So, you know, it will stop our drains up. So I would just suggest if Bill could tell his officers if they see someone doing that, just kind of suggest put the grass back out in the grass, you know. So it just looks bad too, you know that.
Yeah, it does.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Especially on the south end is where it happens a lot down there.
Okay. Mr. Hill, audit presentation.
It's tough to hear about auditing, but it's probably much harder after seeing all that enthusiasm in this. So I'll try not to be too boring with this. So we've completed our audit year ending June 30, 20. A clean opinion or unmodified audit opinion, just like in prior years. If you'll flip over, if you've got your paper copy in front of you, page 17, the three primary funds of the city, or the general fund, the street fund, and the drug fund. And so on page 17 and 18, you see those assets that total a little over $3 million. On page 19 and 20, you see liabilities and fund balances for each of those three funds. On 22, 23 are the revenue and expenditures by fund. And then if you'll turn with me to 24 and 25 and look 3 lines up from the bottom. So the general fund had more expenditures than revenue by $61,862. The street fund had more revenue, $43,000. Drug fund, more expenditures of $9,000. Let's go back to the general fund. So if you'll flip back to the bottom of page 22, under capital outlay, like 3 lines from the bottom, you spent $1.3 million in capital outlay items. If you'll flip the page, you'll see that you borrowed $876,000, so you took your fund balance and invested in capital assets of the city, and that's why you had more expenditures than revenue. Had you borrowed more money, your fund balance would have gone up, but you'd owed more money. And so I say all that to say, don't be alarmed by a $61,000 deficit there, because you planned that, you've got capital assets for it, you've got a large fund balance, even not considering that. That's nothing that concerned us as auditors. The next several pages are budget comparisons, nothing unusual there. And then, as in all prior years, this includes not only the city funds, but the water, sewer, the gas, and the electric funds. Over on page 48, you'll see each one of those funds had a positive change in net position, which is required by state law. So that's good news there, but of course those are audited separately with separate reports. The one other number that I want to point out, give me a moment to scramble and find it, is on page 132. In addition to the state shared revenue that you get and routine funds like that, during the year ending June 30, 20, this is the amount of federal and state awards that you got that's grant money. Simply put, a little over $1,066,000 of grant money that came into the city during the year. So that's good news. And y'all know that, I'm sure, having administered those grants. The last few pages, starting on 134 to the back, is our report on looking at your compliance with your internal control system and laws and regulations. No findings. This is several years in a row that you've had what people refer to as clean audits, one with no findings or no recommendations for improvement. So a clean opinion, no findings, a slight decrease in your general fund balance, but it was what you planned. Very few audit adjustments, so overall it was a good year, good audit.
Question, when you talked about the federal grant money on page 132 that we
Yes.
got, will the COVID money show up in next year's budget as a grant, or will it show up just another way?
It will probably show up as a grant. In a lot of cases, they're still writing the rules on how to show that. So some money that has been dispersed as part of the, we'll call it COVID money, is not grants, they're calling it something else, but I think the bulk of the money you're getting will be grants and will show up on that schedule. And will trigger the more complex single audit like we did this year. Just another layer of testing and reporting that we have to do. So I would expect it to show up there.
Any questions for Mr. Hill? Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else like to address the mayor and council? Then we'll move on. Committee reports from council. Do we have any tonight? Councilwoman Wilson.
Okay, for Parks and Rec, we're planning on doing a fall co-ed softball league. And so more information is going to be coming out about that. And I don't know if you guys saw in the packet about Halloween, October 30th. We're planning, you know, depending on COVID and what goes on with that, to do a trunk or treat downtown this year. And I think that's really it. The swimming pool, the swim team was here. The swimming pool had a inspection and we got a 96 out of 100. I thought that was pretty good for a 40-something-year-old swimming pool. That, you know, so that's all I have.
One question. I know we talked about, or y'all talked about keeping the pool open. I wanted you to tell everybody why that we weren't able to, because of the lifeguard situation.
Yeah, we didn't have enough lifeguards, basically. You know,
Because most of our lifeguards
going back to
went back to
school.
school.
Mhm.
We'd like to keep it open a little
Right.
while longer.
Yeah, because we closed it on August 8th. So.
Any other reports from any committees? Thank you, Councilwoman Wilson. Old business, we have none. Moving on to new business. First item is ordinance 1277, an ordinance amending section 2-301 of the Rockwood Municipal Code, first reading. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second? Second. Second by Councilman Anderson. Councilman Holloway.
This we've talked about before, Mayor, it's just getting all the board utilities the same on all of them, and this is just an ordinance for that on first reading.
And there will be a second, a public hearing and a second final reading next month. Councilman Anderson, do you have anything?
Nothing.
Anyone? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Yes. Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is ordinance 1278, an ordinance amending section 2-401 of the Rockwood Municipal Code, first reading. This is dealing with the water, sewer, and gas. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Anderson. Councilman Holloway.
It's the same thing as the collector REU, getting both the same way, Mayor.
Councilman Anderson.
Nothing.
Anyone else? Again, we will have a second final reading and a public hearing at next month's meeting. Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Yes. Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is ordinance 1279, an ordinance rezoning certain lots from C1 to R1, first reading. This was approved by the planning commission. This is the lots behind the post office, what we know between the post office and Hickey's old store. The lady has got it, she's here tonight, she's trying to sell it, and it's never been any commercial on it, so she's wanting to move it to change it to residential, low density, and planning commission looked at it. She's got it sold if we can do this, and this will be first reading again. If you have any questions next month, you will have second reading and a public hearing. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Council Lady Wilson. Do we have, Councilman Fuller, do you have anything?
Yes, they've tried to sell it as commercial, and actually it's probably best as residential. So I believe that it's a good situation.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Nothing.
Anyone?
Question. What is she planning to put on this?
She's selling it. I don't know what, I don't have any idea what the people
Well,
that's
if she's
buying
selling it, and it's going from commercial to residential, surely you have to have something on there while you're, because otherwise just sell the property. It doesn't have to be changed to sell it.
She doesn't want, she can't sell it as commercial. She's tried, as it's, because it's, right now it's zoned commercial. Everybody that's wanting to look at it or interested in buying it is wanting it to be residential, so I'm sure they're gonna put a home or something on it, but they can't as commercial.
That's my question, because it seems like we need to have an idea if she's got a buyer or someone who's interested in it, if it's going to, you know, because I think the part in here that I read said that a business with living in the back of the building. Is that not what was stated?
I don't see that here.
I believe if you go back to that.
That's the church, I think.
Now ask me
They're
where
living
it
in
is
the
here.
church.
I think that was in the plan.
But if I remember reading it, it was like for a business, but they wanted to live in the back of the business. Well, that doesn't make sense to do what you're doing.
That wasn't on this, was it, Harold?
I'm not recalling.
I'm not recalling
I don't
it
think
either.
that's,
That might have been in the that
It's
was
in the
probably,
zoning.
I think
that was in our meeting. That was talked about in our meeting
That was, yeah, that's in the minutes for the
for the meeting, but it had nothing to do with this.
no.
This was
same
a-
parcel.
No, not on that. All right, let me see where my minutes are. Harold, have you got those in front of you, the minutes?
It's in the packet, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Surely it is.
It is.
Let me get the minutes here. I guarantee you these last ones I look at.
God, you find where it goes.
I have a copy of the minutes from the planning commission.
Yes, have you got a copy of that? I'm sure they're in here. Let's see here.
It's got two paragraphs. It said, starts out as a rezoning request, C1 to R1 by Carla Jackson. Then it says, Mr. Ishman represented a request by Carla Jackson to have her property at 112 and 116 North Wilder Avenue rezoned from C1 to R1. Mr. Ishman and staff both recommended in favor of the request. Action taken on a motion by Mayor Miller and second by Mr. McClure. The commission unanimously voted to recommend that the property be rezoned to R1. That's the extent of what is addressed to this.
Okay, I know what you're talking about, Councilwoman Evans. It's talking about under the minutes of the Rockwood Board of Zoning Appeals.
Wow.
Mr. Ishman informed the board that a business owner in the C1 district would like to live in the rear of his commercial business while maintaining commercial activities in the front of the building. Mr. Ishman, in his role as zoning and building official, has denied the request because residents are allowed on upper floors only. That's a different piece of property than this. Correct? That's a
Yes.
different piece of property than
Where
this.
is this property then?
Okay. What do you mean, where is it?
Well, you said it was a different property. What property is it then?
This is, where was the property at that you were talking about?
They never specified where it was at. They just said they wanted to have a place behind a business. And I said, our zoning ordinance said, it says can only be on the second floor.
He brought that to our attention in our meeting because someone had called and requested that, and he wanted us to be aware of what he had told them and the rules were. It had nothing to do with this property. This is already an existing building, I guess. The people called you and he told us you couldn't.
Hadn't they?
Yes.
Well, if you read this, it makes it sound like the one that on, what, 112 and 116 is the same property.
No.
And, but if it's two different, I think then that, yeah, I would like some clarification as to redo the notes or whatever to make this a little, or know where the other lots are.
It's two different meetings. The meeting that you're talking about was the meeting of zoning appeals. This was under the planning commission meeting. What she's requesting is under the planning commission meeting. So it's two different meetings. We have to have a board of zoning appeals first.
Right, yes, you do.
Okay, and when we have any kind of request,
If you get the location of that, would you give it to me?
But I don't know where it was. They never said. They just said it was in zone C1, and they wanted to know if they could put an apartment back on the ground floor. I said, under C1, it says only on the second floor. They didn't tell me where they wanted to put it.
they just asked for what the zoning was for C1, and he told them. That's the reason he brought it up to our attention. Anything further on?
Mayor, let me ask you
Okay.
a question. There where Hickey store is, what zone is it in? Is it gonna be
Hickey
C1?
store,
Yeah.
That's C1?
that's C1 now, correct?
See,
Yes,
they live in the
Yes.
back.
correct,
Is that C1?
correct. That's C1, yes, it is.
Okay, the property we're talking about is behind the post office, between there and the post office,
That's
correct?
There's two lots.
Okay, 2 lots. Anything further?
Look like you looking at that.
Anyone else?
Have you changed it?
Call roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
I'm gonna have to think about this. Just skip me for a minute.
Councilman Ford,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna do a lot of research on this because there's a lot of discrepancy in all this. And maybe it's just me, but it is not clear. So, go ahead and mark me as yes, but as I say, I may change my mind on a lot of things as we go up. Because it's,
Motion carries. Next item is Resolution 2191, a resolution requesting a portion of Rome County's 2021 American Rescue Funds for investment-worthy projects. What this is the Rome County has been allotted a certain amount of money, about a little over $5 million. And as y'all probably saw in the paper, some of that they have already allotted to be used for certain projects. But they have let us know that if we had what we felt like were worthy projects, they would like us to put them in a priority order and send them to the county commission and for recommendation, and hopefully they would approve some of that money to go on some of our projects. So what we've done is we've listed our projects in priority order, and This is just to approve it, to send it to county commission to approve, or hopefully approve. And you see those there.
And they wanted projects that benefited the county and the city together.
Yes.
So that's,
Don't mean to interrupt, but clarity, it was $10 million.
they got.
Well, they received 5.1, they expect to receive another 5.1, but they haven't yet. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Anderson. Councilman Holloway.
I think it's be a big help to the city and the county both, Mayor, so. See how we can go wrong with it.
Councilman Anderson.
Be covered.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
Yes.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2192, resolution authorizing the City of Rockwood to participate in the Safety Partners Matching Grant Program. As you know, we've done this every year, been awarded some money, which is a good thing for us. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Anderson. Do we have a second? Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Anderson.
Nothing.
Councilwoman Anderson. Evans.
Do you know approximately how much money this would involve?
It's just a small grant. It's, we spend $3,000 and they give us $1,500 back. And that's like for safety glasses, gloves, all the stuff that our garage folks normally use anyway, signage, different stuff. But we spend $3,000, they'll give us $1,500 of it back.
Okay.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
Yes.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2193, a resolution approving to assign a portion of the city's fund balance to the Rockwood Municipal Airport. What this basically is that the airport, if you make money, it has to go back to the airport. And so we need to move it into the general fund, and that way it's designated for the airport, correct, Ms.
It will be
Ruby?
assigned.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be reassigned, and it's a total of a little $14,683.17. We're just making sure that we handle it right, put it back where it's supposed to be. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Wilson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilwoman Wilson.
I just want to point out that the airport's doing amazing, that I'm sure everyone saw how much they brought in this year, so I just wanted to pat them on the back.
Councilman Bryant.
I echo that. She covered it very well.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
Yes.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2194, a resolution approving renewal proposal for copiers from Novatech. This is who we've been using, and what I like about it is it's going to be cheaper this year than last year, so that's unusual. My recommendation is that we approve going with Novatech, formerly Nova Copy. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Got a motion by Councilman Fuller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Fuller.
Nothing.
Councilwoman Evans.
Nothing, thank you.
Anyone? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans,
Yes.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Holloway,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2195, a resolution reappointing Michael Duggar to the Rockwood Beer Board from September 15th, 2021 through September 15th, 2025. Mr. Duggar has been on there. He finished the term for someone else. He's done a great job, and I'd like to recommend him to go back on that board. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Anderson. Do we have a second? Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Anderson.
He has done a good good job and like I see him stay.
Councilwoman Evans.
Same.
Anyone else? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilman Bryant.
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans.
Yes.
Councilman Fuller.
Yes.
Councilman Holloway.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2196, a resolution appointing Matt Goddard to the Park and Recreation Board for a term of August 24, 2021 through July 1, 2026. If you saw his resume, you all know that Matt's been very active in coaching kids here in all sports for a long time. Graduate of Rockwood High School and been very active in our city league baseball and basketball, and has a passion for working in this community. He loves these kids, and that's what's important, and I think he'll do a great job. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Holloway.
He'll do a great job on them there.
Councilwoman Evans.
He is a great guy, very good, and I think he is asset to the city.
Anyone else? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilman Bryant.
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans.
Yes.
Councilman Fuller.
Yes.
Councilman Holloway.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, ayes have it. Next item is promotion of officer to detective. Chief Stinnett has recommended that Charlie Carruthers be promoted to a position of detective effective immediately. He's been filling in for the past several months, and Chief says he's doing a good job, and I support this 100%. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilman Holloway, do you have anything?
No, I've been watching a little bit, Mayor. I know he has done a good job out there. You can look at reports and tell he's after some of these drugs, and he's really gonna be an asset.
Councilman Bryant.
Working out there with him, seeing he's done a good job. Proud of him, glad we got him.
Anyone else? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilman Bryant.
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans.
Yes.
Councilman Fuller.
Yes.
Councilman Holloway.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Congratulations. Howard, we need I'm gonna entertain that we have a motion to approve Halloween for Saturday, October 30th from 6 to 8. And I'd like to put that in the form of a motion. Anyone?
Yep. So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller, second by Councilman Bryant. Any discussion? Councilman Fuller?
No.
Councilman Bryant? Anyone? Call a roll.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilman Bryant.
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans.
Yes.
Councilman Fuller.
Yes.
Councilman Holloway.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, and the ayes have it. Chief, will you make sure that we cover everything like we usually do? Have a lot of police cars out there and stuff?
Sure will.
Thank you. Council comments. Councilman Bryant, do you have anything tonight?
Glad we had a good turnout. Everybody, I just think we've done a good job here and made some good decisions. Glad.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wilson.
I don't have anything tonight.
Councilman Ford.
Nothing tonight.
Councilman Anderson.
Nothing.
Councilwoman Evans.
Yes.
Okay?
Done a lot of things here. I have a pet project that I've been working on. As y'all know, Brickyard Springs, and I've stayed on the mayor on this to upgrade the lighting in there. It's a beautiful place. Kids playing ball there all the time, but I do not think that the lighting is adequate. And I would like to see those lights replaced. The next thing, we've got 3 departments here. Chief Stinnett over the police department, Matt Crabtree Fire Department, and Rick Crawford over the Public Works, and those men do fantastic jobs. I have a question, going over the police reports. You've got, what, 5 cars approaching 100,000 miles?
Yes, ma'am.
And then maybe 4 right behind that with somewhere between 80,000 and 100,000. Is there any monies anywhere that's been designated for new?
Yes, ma'am,
We've already got,
for new
We
cars.
have, are there on?
yeah, but it's like everything else, they're sort of slow.
Well,
got-
wait,
use the code,
okay,
but
that's
they'll take
good.
a lot,
That's,
I'm sorry, chief,
Use the code, but they're supposed to be getting a lot the end of this month.
But we got 4 coming, right?
got 4.
Good, good,
Yeah.
good. Now, question, and I don't know who this goes to, maybe Chief or you, Mayor, but we have a problem. And with people, vagrancies, loitering. Every morning I go into the office between 6:30, 6:45. Very seldom is there not someone in the gazebo with their backpacks and their stuff spread out all over the place. We've had a lady on the street now for the last 2 weeks, and one of the policemen did come and talk to her. But my problem is we've got kids walking up and down the sidewalk, going to school. And she was sitting on the sidewalk with her legs out, and them having to walk around her. That is not a good thing for our students. And she was there for over, I guess, 2 weeks. And this is bad. Mr. Holloway and I met, it was an accident, but we did anyway, up at Brickyard Springs, and there was a guy sitting on the picnic table, with all his stuff strewn out all over the picnic table. Well, after we got to talking and we circled, and he agreed with me we needed an upgrade in the light. But there was 2 others going the same direction, going up to Brickyard Springs. And I guess I'm crazy, but I have searched everywhere, and I cannot find a law on our books for this. So we need to either have a ordinance drawn up which states that no loitering, no vagrancies, because if you go to Hammond, and I'm going to compare here, you don't see these people sitting in the parks and on the streets and at the service stations and everything. You go to Kingston and you don't see it. And I'm in these cities probably at least 2 times, maybe more a week. But you come into Rockwood and they're at Big E's, they're at Rocky Top, they're at the gazebo at the end of town down there, they're in the gazebo across on Front Street, and they're all over the place. And then I was told, gosh, and I hate to say this, but if somebody tells me, I'll go check it out. It's not just on a whim, but a guy has been living in a car down at the boat ramp for months. Okay, went, checked it out, he's down there. Then down on South Wilder, there's a car as you go around the last curve, getting close to the back road going into Horsehead. This car pulled over on the side of the road, front passenger wheel is off. Now, from Friday when I went down there to check it out again, and today, he's got garbage cans sitting around, Coke bottles on top of his car, everything. So and there's a bicycle that's there sometimes. So I think he's living in that car. And from what I can understand from the people who are telling me about him, he's living there. Then if so, but do we have a law that says, now I am told, and I don't know, and you can correct me, that Hammond Police, if they are sitting on sidewalks or whatever, like I've described, they can pick them up, take them to the end of town or city limits, and put them out.
I don't believe that.
I can't
don't know
speak
who
for
does
everyone.
that.
You can't.
I just don't believe you can, for someone sitting on the side of the sidewalk, you can pick them up and take them out of town. I've never heard of that. Have you, chief?
No, you can't.
Well, I will
against-
check again with the man to make sure that that's true.
They
But
may
do
do it,
we
I
have
don't know.
any laws or anything to prevent this?
State needs to change the records and order
I'm
laws.
sorry.
The ordering laws, the emergency laws, state needs to change those years ago. We stop these people, we check them, we arrest them. All the ones you see walk, we probably arrested every one of them at least once in the last 2 or 3 months. We gotta catch them violating the law. If we're sitting on a park bench, not bothering anybody in a public park during the daytime, it's like if else sitting there, really much we can do. We can check on, see if they're all right. We even check their bags for drugs. We have a lot of homeless people here, and it's not just here, it's in Harriman and Kingston also. They got people walking the streets just as much as we do. I drive up through there, I know them, we hear the calls on the radio. I assure you, most of the ones you see, you're talking about now, we've arrested those multiple times. The one female, we probably arrested her 3 times in the last 6 weeks.
Well, I will try my best to see if I can get back with these people and see what the difference is on that. And one other thing, Ms. Ruby, if you would, I would like for you to put in a letter to me detailing the equipment that we bought, the volare, and why that we purchased it in the way that we did.
You talking about the clean air machines? You talking about the clean air machines?
I'm sorry.
Are you talking about the clean air machines?
Yes. And what kind of comparison that you made and what was the basis?
Mayor Miller has all that.
Having that one particular one versus all the others?
Okay.
Okay?
I'll be glad to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Anything
And
else?
that's it.
Councilman Holloway?
Mayor, I got one question, and that's pertaining to what the ladies want to do over there, C1 to R1. The question I have is the building over there where the Hickey store is at. Does it need to be changed? Because there's people living in the back of that store, so it's actually residential, right?
Do you have any idea on it, Harold?
Which one, which address?
Church.
You know the old Hickey store? There on the corner.
I don't have to, I mean, I've never had any complaints about it.
They're living there anyway, does that need to be changed?
They've been living there for years.
You need to,
That there's only certain legal grounds that I can do anything, it has to be a violation of an ordinance or a law. I can't just go run somebody out.
do we need to change what he's asking, do we need to change the zoning on it? Since they're living in the back of the church is what he's asking.
I don't know,
It's all commercial, we're living there, no?
Can you look?
Parsonage.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
about, it's
Okay,
covered.
thank you. Anything else? Anyone else have anything else? Okay, let me first of all address a couple of issues. Brickyard Springs, the lights have been changed. It is done.
Oh, great.
Now, did we change every light there? No, no we didn't. But we added some lights that we think will make it a lot better lit, in our opinion. So we're gonna see how it works out, but it is done. The other thing, talking about the purifying machines, we bought 4 of them at $1,200 each, which was under our purchasing policy. They're the only machines that have been advertised that say will help with COVID-19 virus. The rest of them that you see that are a lot cheaper, the Walmart, the Amazon, that are a lot cheaper, they all say virus. None of them say specifically COVID-19. The other thing is that this was approved by NASA and developed by NASA, I'm sorry, for the use in the International Space Station. So that's one of the reasons that we bought them, because we felt more comfortable with them talking to our sister cities who bought them too, which bought a lot more than we did, but they bought them too and they felt very comfortable with them. Can I sit here and tell everybody in this room that they're going to kill the virus? No, I can't. I wish I could. I'm sure if everybody knew they'd killed the virus, we'd have them in every home in this country. But I do feel comfortable because they've been approved, and they're the only one that says it will kill the COVID-19 virus. So just want to bring that up. We bought 4. Yes.
That's all we have?
Yes, we bought 4. Is that correct? Yes. We bought
We
4.
met with other cities in March. We
Yes.
met in Harriman in March with all the other cities in the county. And we had the representative there from Atlanta, Georgia that demonstrated them to us. And they bought, Harriman bought, Kingston bought immediately, and we kind of forgot. But we had $16,000 of COVID money left June 29th. And I just,
Where are our 4?
one in the library, and she actually needs 2 because one only covers 3,000 square feet. So we were thinking about getting her another one. We got one in the library, one out here in the hall where we have the most traffic, one behind the window for the girls, and one where the firemen sleep. Because that's where they sleep, and they're here 24 hours. And we really wanted to get another one for the police department. They really need one in their squad room. So, do we know they're perfect? No, we don't. But if NASA trusts them on the space shuttle, I trust them too. And it was COVID money at no cost to the taxpayers of Rockwood.
Chief, we want to make sure now that we, again, that we cover Halloween really well. I know we always do, but I just like to bring it to your attention that we cover it well.
We need April to correspond with him if
Yeah.
we're doing it downtown.
If we're gonna move it downtown from the recreation park, move it downtown, that'd be good. The other thing is, we need to be aware that school started back. And our kids are our number one thing in this community. We need to make sure that we make people abide by the rules in these speed zones. It's very, very important. And I know, Chief, you have one at both our school places every day, and that's really, really important. So we need to make sure that we do that. Again, I want to thank all our department heads for the wonderful job they're doing, and their employees. They're doing a tremendous job. And I do appreciate them. I appreciate this council. They're doing a heck of a job and working hard. It's been a rough year, but we've come out of it. You saw what our revenues were. I'd like to brag on you girls. You're the only group that's come in here and been recognized that stayed. Everybody else goes home, and I don't blame them. Boy, you all are dandies to stay. So we appreciate you staying with us. I know you didn't want to hear it. You're probably going to have, I'm going to say, to get your Girl Scout pin or whatever it is, I'm saying you had to stay and listen to us, didn't you?
No, I've been telling them how important local government is, and I am so excited that they're getting to see this.
Well, thank you all for coming, and thank you for telling them how important it is. Anyone else got anything else?
I need one more
Yes.
thing. The Fall Festival, October the 2nd.
Hold on a minute. Fall Festival, I'm glad somebody called me about
October the
this.
2nd.
October the 2nd, Fall Festival.
Yep.
And I wanted to assure the council, we're keeping a close eye on the COVID that's coming right now. It's starting to pick up, and we are keeping a close eye, and we will keep y'all informed if we think we have to make some moves again. At this time, we feel comfortable where we are, but it is picking up. We are probably city employees. We already have 5 cases, active cases now. Well, I think 4 active and 1 not active. I think they've already got through their time.
One more
So,
thing.
yes.
I think the gentleman in the back held up his hand. He must have been wanting to.
You yield the floor to him?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Wright.
I was just going to make a suggestion to Councilman Evans that if you were to take the people and relocate them out of the city, that put the city up to potential lawsuits, which would drain the budget, and it wouldn't be healthy. And they put up a good fight. I came from California, and I've seen multiple homeless encampments and things like that. And all they do, they take their garage, they build, they trash a place, then they force them to leave, they clean the area, and then they just relocate to another place. And then somewhere down the line, eventually, they'll come back to the same encampment and start all over again. It's just a nasty habit that they do, and it's And like I said, I've driven all the way across this country, and it's growing and growing and growing. It's not gonna go anywhere anytime soon.
Thank you. Anything else? Anything else? Do I hear a motion, we adjourn? Motion by Councilman Hallway, do we have a second?
Second.
Second? Oh, all of you second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, of course, there be none.